Hey guys, coming to you with a few more updates. It's been a while since we've had any updates, but there really hasn't been much updating to be updated about, thankfully. But um, with this new stimulus package that's before Congress, I kind of want to give you guys an update on a few things that are coming up that you need to be aware of and probably need to plan for. And for the next couple of days, I'm going to do a few live updates, probably around 5 o'clock, to discuss a few more changes that are happening, especially with the stimulus coming through. But today I want to focus on the stimulus for small business owners and what's being talked about in Congress. There's two critical pieces. One, there is a second round of PPP loan, and the second part is there's expense funds. You're going to be able to expense your funds from the first PPP loan. In the stimulus, the second round of PPP is, like I said, is being discussed. The amount should be about the same as the first round. However, there's new eligibility requirements that must be had, and that is you must have had 30% reduction in revenue in any one quarter. That means if you have less than a 30% drop in revenue or no drop in revenue, you may not be eligible for this loan coming up. I think 30% is a pretty high threshold. If you're not eligible, it might be prudent for you to call your congressman and tell them, that it's a pretty high standard. My expectation is that, there will probably be extra funds because 30% drop in revenue is pretty high. So let's say if you have a business that generally runs about $1 million in revenue in a year, during any one quarter, you would have had to have dropped $75,000 in revenues to qualify. So my prediction is that there may not be as many businesses that qualify for the second round, even though it's $300 billion that they're allocating for this fund, which is about the same as last time. So the second issue, and I think this is going to be helpful for more small business owners. The second issue that's being discussed is being able to expense the items you used for your PPP funds on the first round. In about April of this past year, the IRS ruled that businesses could not get both forgiveness and write off the expenses. This is considered double dipping. In all reality, let's be flat out honest. The IRS is right. If you look at all the past rulings and past issues, if you get a grant, the grant should not be considered income, but you also don't get to consider it an expense. However, that's not what Congress intended. They were granting both the funds and the expense. And in this new stimulus, that's the plan, is they're going to grant this expense. So this could be big for a big blessing for business owners. If you and especially if you are an S corporation or an LLC, you're anticipating a loss based upon this, you need to talk to your tax advisor quickly. You may have a few options coming up of what you need to do and how to handle that. For example, you may want to stop paying a salary to yourself because yes, it's an additional expense, but you may be able to save some money off of Social Security because you're going to be at a net loss. So you need to look at last minute options with regards to those expenses. You also may want to look at pushing that that loss to future years, which is a positive thing. But based upon the previous ruling, or the tax changes that Trump instituted, those are limited to 80% of your taxable income in any one year. But it can be carried forward for many, many years and used. This also may be a time for you to look at Roth conversions. I'm a big proponent of Roth conversions. Roth is a tool for your retirement account, and once it's taxed, it's never taxed again. So if you have losses and you want to incur some income, this may be a year for you to do that, to pull in some of the income in this year. But if you are based upon this, you're going to hit zero, or you're going to still be a profit. That's wonderful. You still probably need to talk to your tax advisor, but be on the phone talking to them. They'll give you probably more detailed advice than what I'm giving you at this juncture. But I just want to tell you, hey, if you're going to be out of loss this year, there are a few steps, and you want to ask your tax advisor of what you can do to maximize your resources at this juncture. So take a look at it. Be watching for this. I believe that PPP will get through. I believe that this expense option will go through as well. So I'm not hearing of anything where you're not going to be able to take these write-offs. There's a few sources out there that are saying no, we are not going to, it's a bad idea. But I think a lot of that will come out after Congress has instituted these changes. But be mindful of it, be watching for it, be looking to see if you do qualify for that 20, if you did have a 30%, maybe go through, talk to your accountant and look and see if you have 25% or anywhere between 20 to or more, so that you're mindful of these quarters. And I'm sure I'll give you some more updates once it has passed. It is not passed yet, but I want you to, we only have 13 days left in this year, so time is of the essence. So I want you to be prepared so that you can make the appropriate moves at the last second. Other than that, that's about it. Leave me a message, and I'll try to respond to any kind of other questions. But like I said, I'm going to probably be giving more updates in the next few days, just talk about all the changes that are happening. Thanks, guys, for listening. I hope this has provided you some information, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon.